So today we are going to start axilla beta. Okay. So axilla is also a very important question. We have many component of questions which come under axilla. We will first see the boundaries, then we will see the contents, and then we will talk one by one later. Now see from this picture, if you observe, see we have certain boundaries of axilla. Okay, what is axilla? Axilla is nothing but armpit. What we see under the our arm. Okay, so now we have certain boundaries. When you see, now this is the anterior boundary. So anterior boundary is formed by middle one third of the clavicle. This is medial boundary. This is near to the midline in the picture. So medial boundary is formed by the outer border of the first rib. This is lateral boundary. Lateral boundary is formed by the upper border of the scapula bone. Okay, and base will be formed by skin, superficial fascia and all. And apex is nothing but the area which, suppose if you are just putting your hand inside, so that means this is the axillary canal. Okay, apex is pointing towards the root of the neck. Okay, imagine you are doing the dissection and you are putting your hand inside the axilla. So the apex is the point which is going inside these boundaries. That means anteriorly clavicle, medially the outer border of first rib, then posteriorly the upper border of the scapula bone. Apex is going towards the root of the neck and base is formed by the skin, superficial fascia and lot of hair. Now, when you just talk about the boundaries, now from yesterday's lecture also of the pectoral region, hope you understood, like anteriorly in the pectoral region, what muscle we have first? We have first skin. Within the skin, after skin, we have superficial fascia. In the superficial fascia, the modified sweat gland is the mammary gland, below which we have pectoralis major muscle. Okay, so this the fascia which is covering the pectoralis major is pectoral fascia. Okay, so below pectoralis major, we have two more muscles, that is subclavius and pectoralis minor. Okay, what is the name of this fascia which is splitting to enclose subclavius and pectoralis minor? This itself is a short note I said, that is clavipectoral fascia. So all these structures will be forming the anterior boundary of the axilla. Okay, all these muscles we saw when we were doing pectoral region. Now coming to this posterior boundary, so these are the muscles which were attached to the scapula behind posterior boundary. So, like if you remember the costal surface of the scapula, what is the muscle we had in the costal surface? Subscapularis. Okay. Then along the lateral border we have teres major, and along the inferior border we have latissimus dorsi. Okay. So this forms the posterior border. Okay. Now, by looking into these pictures, we will get one idea. Now, see here also we have some different picture is being shown for us to understand better. So this is axilla is something like pyramidal space. It is 3D picture. So now I told you medially it is formed by the outer border of first rib, which is shown in violet color. So this is all medial border or medial wall. Okay. Then laterally, what is present? I said laterally or posteriorly, you will have the superior border of the scapula bone. Okay. Then anteriorly, what do we have? Middle one third of the clavicle. Base is formed by true skin, and apex is the one. You just imagine as though you are putting your finger deep inside, so that is going towards the root of the neck. Now let us read systematically like what is axilla. So axilla is nothing but armpit, which is pyramidal space situated between the upper part of the arm and chest wall. So it has base, apex, then it has anterior wall, posterior wall, medial wall and lateral wall. So it is disposed obliquely. How is the anterior wall formed? Anteriorly, I said clavicle. Posteriorly, scapula, and the muscles attached we will see. Medially, the outer border of the first rib, and then laterally, you will see actually the humerus. Okay. Now coming, first of all, we are now here in this PowerPoint, we have apex. So what is apex? Where is that apex? I said if you just put your hand inside, okay, the hand is pointing towards the root of the leg. That is nothing but apex. Okay. So with that idea, see it is truncated and affects anteriorly. It is bound by posterior surface of the clavicule, posteriorly by the superior border of scapula, medially bounded by the outer border of the first rib. Okay, that means whatever boundaries we have seen, so this is nothing but these are the boundaries of the apex of the axilla. So anteriorly, what are we finding? Clavicle. Okay, medially, what are we finding? The medial border or the outer border of the first rib. Then posteriorly, we are finding upper border of scapula bone. Okay, so that is apex. Okay, coming to the base. How is the base? I said that is true skin where we have lot of hair, sebaceous glands, sweat glands. Okay, just below the skin we have superficial fascia, then axillary fascia, then anterior wall. How is the anterior wall? Again, you should remember this picture. It becomes easy. Nothing but the muscles, whatever are found here. So, what are the muscles we have in the pectoral region? We have first muscle will be pectoralis major. Below we have pectoralis minor and subclavius. Okay, so that is forming the anterior boundary. Okay, anterior wall. So pectoralis major, then pectoralis minor, clavipectoral fascia which is splitting to enclose subclavius and pectoralis minor. Okay, then let us see the picture first again for posterior wall. So posterior wall is nothing but scapula which is resting over ribs. So what are the what is the surface which is resting over the ribs of the scapula? That is the costal surface, and below in the costal surface we have subscapularis muscle. Okay, iris major is actually attached around the lateral border and this latissimus dorsi along the inferior angle of the scapula. So just keep this picture in mind, then you will understand. Like posterior wall is formed by subscapularis above, iris major and latissimus dorsi below. Okay. Now coming to medial wall, now if you observe the whole of the medial wall, not only the outer border of the first rib, we also have second, third, and fourth ribs. That means upper four ribs. Okay, intervening. What do we have between ribs? Intercostal space. Okay, in the intercostal space, what do we have? Intercostal muscles. So medial wall is formed by upper four ribs with their intercostal muscles. Then upper part of serratus anterior muscle. Okay. Then lateral wall. Now, which is the lateral wall? I told you this is humerus, whatever we are finding. Okay, the head, the neck is like anatomical neck and surgical neck, and this shaft of the humerus. This area will form the lateral wall. Okay, so upper part of the shaft of the humerus, it is forming the lateral wall. Okay, so now what are the muscles we find in the lateral wall? We find coracobrachialis and short head of biceps brachii. Do you remember from where short head of biceps brachii comes from? Coracoid process of scapula. Even coracobrachialis also comes from there only. Okay. So these are the boundaries of axilla. Axilla itself may come as a 5 marks question. Are boundaries and contents of the axilla. And to elaborate, either axillary artery or axillary group of lymph nodes or brachial plexus. Anything can come as essay. So before that, we should be thorough with the boundaries of axilla. Summarize. First, I told you we have apex. The boundaries of apex are the outer border of the first rib medially, then anteriorly we have the posterior surface of the clavicle, and posteriorly the upper border of the scapula. Apex is the one which is going towards the neck. Okay, that is you can insert your hand which is going towards the root of the neck. Base is skin, true skin, hair, sebaceous glands, sweat glands, that is all base. Okay, then medially upper four ribs, intercostal spaces. Laterally the shaft of the humerus. Okay, so all these things you need to remember for the boundaries of axilla. Anteriorly, what muscles we have? Pectoralis major, minor, and subclavius and clavipectoral fascia. Posteriorly, we have subscapularis, teres major, and latissimus dorsi. Content. See, this is the pyramidal space what we have between the arm and the outer border of outer part of the thoracic cage. So, what is the chief content you are finding in the axilla? Axillary artery. Sometimes we can just put our hand in the axilla and we can palpate for the axillary pulse. Sometimes we can even record blood pressure if there is any problem with brachial artery. Okay. Of course, we are going to elaborate on axillary nerve when we do brachial plexus, but for now you are just shown this picture. So, in my previous class, I told you axillary nerve is supplying two muscles. Do you remember? One is I said it is supplying deltoid muscle and the other is teres minor. Okay, we'll see again later. Now this is again layout of axilla what we are seeing. Now we should know what are the muscles in front and behind. See, this is the anterior aspect of the axilla. So we have first muscle is pectoralis major. Below pectoralis major we have pectoralis minor. Okay, this is the posterior boundary. So we know this is the scapula bone, and in the postal surface of the scapula we have subscapularis muscle. This is medial boundary. Okay, so upper four ribs, the medial boundary, and then we have the serratus anterior origin, upper eight ribs. We have studied in yesterday's class. Laterally, the shaft of humerus. Now let us see what are the contents we have in the axilla. Okay, so this is anterior, this is medial, this is posterior, and this is lateral. This is the layout of the picture. Now, what are the contents we are finding here? We are finding axillary artery, then axillary vein, then we are finding cords of brachial plexus in yellow color. Anteriorly, actually, we will have like medial cord, lateral cord, and the posterior cord. They will be related laterally. Now, like accordingly, in fact, we will discuss when we are doing axillary artery and brachial plexus. Now, see, surrounding this like axillary artery and axillary vein, we are finding axillary sheath. Yesterday we have seen axillary tail of spines which was coming from the outer and lateral quadrant, upper quadrant. Outer upper quadrant of the mammary gland, we have seen like axillary tail of spines which was extending, which actually comes into the axilla and it surrounds the like axillary artery and axillary vein. Okay, now so from the picture already we have seen like axilla is containing axillary artery and its branches, axillary vein and its tributaries, then infraclavicular part of brachial plexus. Then we have five group of axillary lymph nodes. Okay. So what are those? Anterior, posterior, lateral, central, and apical group of lymph nodes. This we will elaborate. We will have a separate elaborated lecture on axillary lymph nodes also. Then we will also see this long thoracic and intercostobrachial nerves in axilla. And of course, because you have already done dissection, you should have seen when we were immediately when you have joined your MBBS course and you have entered into dissection hall, we started with upper limb, isn't it, in all the colleges? So then you have seen like we have done pectoral region, after that axilla was done. Lot of fat was coming out, no? And in between round nodules also were coming out. Okay, those were nothing but axillary group of lymph nodes. Okay, so axilla has lot of fat, axillary group of lymph nodes. Okay, areolar tissue in which other contents are embedded. Okay. Now, axillary artery. Now, see here, axillary artery is the continuation of subclavian artery. Subclavian artery is one of the branches coming from arch of aorta. On right side, we have brachiocephalic trunk dividing into the subclavian and common carotid. Whereas on the left side, we know directly from arch of aorta, we have subclavian artery and also the common carotid artery. Okay, now see this subclavian artery is now continuing as the axillary artery. The axillary artery's course is divided into three parts by means of this muscle. What we have seen the origin yesterday, isn't it? Origin, insertion, abstraction, everything we have discussed in pectoral region. Now, pectoralis minor muscle divides the course of axillary artery into three parts. The first part of the artery is lying above the upper border of the muscle. Second part of the artery lies behind the muscle. Third part of the artery lies below the muscle. Okay. So, and the extent of axillary artery is outer border of the first rib to the lower border of the teres major muscle. Okay, and it's very easy for us to remember like what are the various branches. Like overall, it gives like 6 branches. Very easy to remember. First part will give only one branch. Second part will give 2 branches. Third part will give 3 branches. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is nothing but 6 branches. We will elaborate on this as we proceed. Okay. So axillary artery is a continuation of which artery? Subclavian artery. And axillary artery continues as which artery? It
Okay.
continues as brachial artery. You can speak to me and it's a general recording. I need not post it to my students in India. Okay, please speak to me. Okay.
Hello,
हाँ, hello beta.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. Your voice is audible, Hema.
Okay, ma'am.
The axillary artery is a continuation of which artery?
Subclavian.
Subclavian artery. Okay. So it is extending from the outer border of the first rib to the lower border of the teres major muscle. Okay. So the continuation of axillary artery is nothing but brachial artery. The pectoralis minor divides the axillary artery into first part proximal to the muscle, second part deep second behind the muscle, third part below the muscle. Okay, so this picture has already, I have taken the help of this picture to make you understand. Now see here, I want every one of you to practice these pictures. In fact, if you practice these pictures, axillary arteries job is done. Okay, so easy it is. I'll make you understand what is this. These are Chaurasia's pictures are better because Vishram Singh has much simplified better. Okay, so I will share PowerPoints better. Keep reminding me, please. Okay, see here. Now see, how many parts the axillary artery has been divided into? First, second and third part. So now coming to the first part of axillary artery, we should know the relations. Okay, so this is we have posterior relations. These are anterior relations. Okay, you can see this picture. It becomes easy for you. These are anterior relations, these are posterior relations, and this is near the midline of our body, medial relations. Away from the midline, we have lateral relations. Okay, beta? Now, what are the structures we find anteriorly? See here, see our artery is here, axillary artery. Okay. Now you imagine as though you are doing dissection in the dissection hall, it becomes easy for you to get that orientation. You can like actually analyze and remember more instead of memorizing. If you start memorizing, it becomes difficult for us to recollect so many things. But if you really understand and try to recollect, it becomes easy. We have seen pectoral region yesterday, no? So immediately, first when you go to dissection hall, when you start dissecting the pectoral region, the first thing you come across is skin, isn't it? So let's suppose the axillary artery is here, like you are reflecting skin first. Below the skin, you have platysma. Actually, the platysma muscle is arising in the thoracic region, and then it is going in the neck. In the head and neck region also, we have come across this muscle, platysma. Okay. Below platysma, we have supraclavicular nerves. Okay. Then after which we have deep fascia. Then we have, I told you, fascia covering pectoralis major is also called as deep fascia or pectoral fascia, up to you. Okay, below pectoralis major, what muscle do we have? Pectoralis minor. Do you remember like pectoralis minor is covered by one fascia? What is the fascia? Clavipectoral fascia. When you talk about the first part of the artery, we do not see pectoralis minor or subclavius at this level. Instead, we are finding clavipectoral fascia pierced by three structures. I told you clavipectoral fascia is important 3 marks or 5 marks question. Yesterday also we have talked about structures piercing clavipectoral fascia. The same three names are coming now. Okay, what are those? What is the name of this vein which is coming like this? Cephalic vein. Below this, what is the name of the artery we are getting? Coracoacromial artery. Then what nerve do we have here? Lateral pectoral nerve. Okay, so these are the three structures which are piercing the clavipectoral fascia. Anyhow, you will study these structures piercing. When you do clavipectoral fascia, these structures will also help us to write the relations of the anterior relations of the axillary artery first part. Hope this is clear. Not only that, we also see lateral pectoral nerve. If you remember, anterior region, we have pectoralis major muscle and pectoralis minor muscle. We know both of them are supplied by these nerves, right? Lateral pectoral nerve and medial pectoral nerve. Okay, beta, hope you are understanding.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are all anterior relations of axillary artery. Which part, beta?
First part.
First part. First part of axillary artery. Now can you by looking at this picture, can you please tell me what are the posterior relations of the first part of the axillary artery? We are finding medial cord posteriorly. We are finding nerve to serratus anterior. We are also finding serratus anterior muscle. We are finding the first intercostal space with the intercostal muscle. So these all form which relations? Posterior relations. Okay. Then near to this midline, we have medial relations. So medial relation of first part of axillary artery is formed by which vein? Axillary vein. Not only axillary vein, we also see medial pectoral nerve medially. Now coming to the lateral relations, we know this side are lateral relations. So lateral relations, what are we finding? Lateral cord and posterior cord of brachial plexus. Please practice this picture. We need to practice 4 pictures because axillary artery is an important essay question. It can come as 15 marks. Okay, boundaries and contents of axilla and give the details of axillary artery is important 15 marks question. Okay, beta? So this is first part. Now coming to second part of axillary artery. Where do we see second part? I said it is behind pectoralis minor muscle.
Mine.
So all these, now suppose if you take this center point as our axillary artery, in front we have all these anterior relations. We have skin, we have like deep fascia, there is nothing but pectoral fascia covering the pectoralis major. Then below that we have pectoralis minor. So these structures form anterior relations. Now coming to these structures, these form posterior relations. Okay, what are the structures forming posterior relations? We have subscapularis, then we have posterior cord of brachial plexus. Then can anybody tell me the medial relations? Enough? Axillary vein.
Axillary vein, medial cord, medial pectoral nerve.
Very good. Kindly tell me the lateral relations also, beta.
Lateral cord, short head of biceps brachii and coracobrachialis.
Lateral cord of brachial plexus, short head of biceps along with coracobrachialis.
Coracobrachialis.
Yeah, very good, beta, very good. Now coming to the third part. Okay, the third part, we know it is below the pectoralis minor. That's the reason you can't see pectoralis minor anymore here in the anterior relations. Okay, now anteriorly, what are we finding? See, this is our axillary artery and these are the anterior relations. We have skin, superficial fascia, pectoral fascia, pectoralis major muscle. See, it has medial root of median nerve. Okay, now coming behind, see, we have axillary nerve and radial nerve. Okay, we also find subscapularis muscle. Medially, we have axillary vein, medial cutaneous nerve of arm, medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, ulnar nerve. Now, laterally, if you observe, we have lateral root of median nerve, musculocutaneous nerve, coracobrachialis. Again, this is shorted of biceps. Okay, beta? So I want you to practice all these 3 pictures thoroughly, then you can make your explanation so simple and complete. Okay, this is the picture which helps us to understand the relations of first part, this is second part and this is third part. Okay, one diagram is enough, beta. You need not go with third lower part, not required. Okay, one diagram is enough. Now I will talk about the branches of axillary artery. So see here, basically I told you overall from the axillary artery we have how many branches? 6 branches. From the first part we have 1 branch. Okay. So what is the name of the first part of the artery? We have superior thoracic artery. Yesterday when we were discussing mammary gland, I asked you to remember one code, SALT, like SAL. Superior thoracic, acromiothoracic, lateral thoracic. So superior thoracic is actually the branch of first part of axillary artery. Acromiothoracic is the word basically usually used, or thoracoacromial. Anything is fine. So acromiothoracic and lateral thoracic are the branches coming from the second part. And the third part we have anterior circumflex humeral, posterior circumflex humeral and subscapular. We will take the help of pictures so that we will understand it more better. Okay. Now see, this is our pectoralis minor muscle, which is marking as a landmark. Okay, so above that, we know this is the subclavian artery, continuation is axillary artery, and this is the first part. And from the first part, we have superior thoracic artery. Explanation is given for each branch, and you should elaborate each. So superior thoracic artery is a very small branch which is usually cut when we are trying to do dissection and when we are trying to expose the pectoralis major muscle. Okay, the as you know, one blood supply already. We know like superior thoracic artery is supplying mammary gland. It also supplies the pectoral region. Obviously, it is seen in pectoral region, so that means it is supplying the skin, superficial fascia, or a part of platysma muscle, pectoralis fascia, pectoralis major, minor muscles. Very small artery. That is superior thoracic. Then we have SAL, right? So this is acromiothoracic. Acromiothoracic is coming at the upper border of the pectoralis minor muscle. The acromiothoracic, again we have a code like ABCD. You try to remember APCD. APCD. A means acromial, P is pectoral, C is clavicular, and D is deltoid. Okay, so those are the names we have. What are those? We have A, P, C, D. Easy to remember. And like how we have the name, same type, like suppose when you are talking about acromial, let us go in order. So acromial branch of the thoracoacromial artery, it goes towards the acromial process of the scapula, and it takes part in the anastomosis around the acromial process. I will discuss this because it can be a 3 marks question. Anastomosis around the scapula and acromial process. Okay, that is about acromial. Now, deltoid branch, AP, no. So pectoral branch is going anteriorly, goes and supplies the pectoral region, supplying the pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, and overlying skin and fascia. Okay, that is AP. Then C is clavicular branch. As the name implies, it goes towards the clavicle and supplies the clavicle bone and structures attached to the clavicle, like subclavius muscle. And also the other muscles which we have seen as origin. We have seen what are the muscles we have seen: pectoralis major, deltoid, trapezius was attached, isn't it? Sternocleidomastoid was attached. Okay, fine. That is C. Then D. D is deltoid. As the name implies, it goes and supplies the deltoid muscle. Okay, so that is APCD is the acronym or the mnemonic for us to remember the branches of thoracoacromial artery, which in turn is a branch of the second part of axillary artery. After this, we have one more artery from the second part, that is lateral thoracic artery. This is the lateral thoracic artery. So you can see the lateral thoracic artery is running along the inferior margin of the pectoralis minor muscle, like this. Okay. So lateral thoracic also supplies the mammary gland. We know already SAL, all three will supply: superior thoracic, acromiothoracic, lateral thoracic. They supply the mammary gland, pectoral region, intercostal muscles as well. Now coming to the third part, we have 3 branches: anterior circumflex humeral, posterior circumflex humeral, and subscapular. Anterior circumflex humeral is actually surrounding the neck of the, which neck? This is surgical neck of the humerus anteriorly. Okay, posteriorly it is along with the posterior aspect of the surgical neck of the humerus and the anastomose around the surgical neck. Okay, both anterior and posterior, the anastomose. Okay. Now see here, anterior, coming to this artery, this is actually subscapular, very important artery. This runs over the subscapularis muscle. What we have seen, like in the costal surface of the scapula, we had subscapularis muscle, isn't it? So this artery runs over the subscapular muscle, okay, and it gives one branch which is called a circumflex scapular artery. Again, circumflex scapular artery takes part in the formation of anastomosis around the scapula bone. Okay, that is. So sometimes subscapular, actually when you see all the 6 branches, Among all the 6 branches, the largest branch will be subscapular artery. Okay, and sometimes the subscapular artery size may be much bigger than the main axillary artery also. Such things are encountered when we are doing dissection. I will take you to another point of axillary artery where we need to discuss some more points. Just to complete the topic, see, axillary artery is accompanied by axillary vein, which is in continuation with basilic vein. Anyhow, I will take venous drainage of upper limb as a separate topic when you will come across all the veins. Okay, so we know axillary vein is actually seen at the outer border of the first rib where it becomes continuous with the subclavian vein. So we know axilla, we have dissected also, we have seen also axilla has abundant axillary hair because of which there may be chances of so many infections at the hair follicles and sebaceous glands, okay, which may give rise to boils. So axillary abscess is nothing but pus formation if there is any infection, and it has to be incised through the floor. Floor is nothing but base. Okay, that means an incision has to be given between the anterior and posterior axillary fold. Anterior fold is formed by pectoralis major muscle, posterior is formed by subscapularis. So between these two muscles, we have to give one incision and to drain the pus. Okay, and the incision should go near to the medial wall. Okay, so this is not required to do. Brachial plexus, I'll take as a separate class. Just a minute, I will take you to one more PowerPoint. Can you see? I hope you can see because can you see better?
Yeah.
Axillary artery, Hima?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the axillary lymph nodes, I'll take separate class for this. See, this is arch of aorta and this is the brachiocephalic trunk. On the right side, we have subclavian artery continuing as axillary artery. On the left side, we have left subclavian artery coming as a direct branch of aorta. So this, whatever I have discussed, I am moving fast, but this is texted way, and with the help of diagram, I gave you complete explanation.
Yes, ma'am.
First part, second part, third part, everything we have discussed. The only thing what I want you to understand is uh, yeah. See, scapular anastomosis. So what is scapular anastomosis? See, around the scapula, we have 3 blood vessels which are forming a network and giving blood supply to the scapula bone. So that forms scapular anastomosis. So what are the branches we see? Transverse cervical artery. So transverse cervical artery is one of the branches coming from subclavian, that is the thyrocervical branch. It comes like this. Okay, this is transverse cervical. Then we have, this is